Good morning, everybody. Focus Daily, y'all. Today, we're introducing the famous, well-known Abraham Lincoln. Oh, okay. But before we begin this show, as always, I'd like to give all praise due to the Most High and His Son, Jesus Christ. It is through them that I am being sent with this truth as a chance for redemption and mercy and salvation for all, including myself, especially myself. So, Abraham Lincoln. It's time we relearn history, folks. The story was told to us upside down and backwards. See, what was actually going on was Abraham Lincoln was a man that was raised up by the Lord, the sovereign Lord himself. Although he knew these conquering, invading foreigners were about to take over the Israelites, take over Jerusalem and Judah and the children of God, he sought to make the transition as smooth as possible. So with all the killing, all the genocide, all the thievery going on with this newly discovered mountain of gold that they call America, he sent in Abraham Lincoln to bring in equality into this land, to organize this, to bring new law and order to the land, but keeping the Bill of Rights, which is the laws of God, completely intact. So let's read a little bit about Abraham Lincoln. Get this thing right. All right, let's get into it. All right. United States presidential election of 1860. American presidential election held on November 6, 1860, in which Republican Abraham Lincoln defeated South Democrat John C. Breckinridge. See, the Bill of Rights or God laws run under a form of system that would be known as a Republican form. So the last groups of indigenous people came together and they rallied behind Abraham Lincoln. He was representing the laws of God, and these were still the last remaining groups that wanted to continue to follow the laws and decrees of the Lord. So Republican Abraham Lincoln defeated South Democrat John C. Breckinridge, Democrat Stephen A. Douglas, and Constitutional Union candidate John Bell. Remember these names, folks. The electoral split between Northern and Southern Democrats was emblematic of the severe sectional split, particularly over slavery. See, this slavery word, let's go over this again. It wasn't talking about black people in chains and fields picking cotton. It was talking about immigrants from all over the world who came to America as indentured slaves. And once entering America, they were not officially citizens. So they still had to remain under the control of the children of God, making them slaves to the children of God. But in come Abraham Lincoln, and he clears and evens the playing field. He gives everybody an equal opportunity to partake in the riches of the land. Okay. Democrats was all right. We got that, particularly over slavery. And in the months following Lincoln's election and before his inauguration in March 1861, 7 southern states led by South Carolina on December 20 of 1860 seceded, setting the stage for the American Civil War. See, being that Abraham Lincoln was actually a black man, members of the company felt like a black man shouldn't be deciding the fate and the destiny of this experiment or company that they were partaking in. So it brought a split into the land. You know, greedy bankers wanted things to remain where everyone was basically an indentured slave to the bankers. But in comes Abraham Lincoln, a man raised by God himself to clear the playing field and make everything fair and equal for all. And it just split up the whole Union. All right. The conventions. Following on the heels of Dred Scott's decision of 1857, okay, pay attention close. Pay attention, folks. Discernment. In which the U.S. Supreme Court voided the Missouri Compromise, thus making slavery legal in all U.S. territories. The elections of 1860 were sure to further expose sectional differences between those. Okay, hold on. Let me stop right here. Okay, making slavery legal in all U.S. territories. This was a legal move by the banks in order to keep everybody in that slavery indentured to them. Being that at that point, the banks was pretty much running this new company or government, then in comes Abraham Lincoln. All right, especially, but not solely in the North, who wanted to abolish slavery and those who sought to protect the institution. Let me get that over with. Make sure we stay on the same page. Supreme Court voided the Missouri Compromise, thus making slavery legal in all U.S. territories. The election of 1860 was sure to further expose sectional differences between those, especially but not solely in the North, who wanted to abolish slavery and those who sought to protect the institution. You know, it was actually the people themselves, the indigenous children of God, who wanted to put an end to the slavery. Being raised the way they was raised, slavery was kind of foreign to them. But in come foreigners, introducing these new terms and these new ideologies such as slavery, later to become debt slavery or fiat slavery. But we're going to speak more on that later. The Democratic Party held its convention in April through May 1860 in Charleston, South Carolina, where a disagreement over the official party policy on slavery prompted dozens of delegates from the southern states to withdraw. Once again, these bankers and their greed continue to try to prevent God's will from being done. Shame on you, banks. We're going to break it down. Unable to nominate a candidate, Senator Stephen A. Douglas received a majority of the delegates' support, but could not amass the required two-thirds majority needed for the nomination. Democrats held a second convention in Baltimore, Maryland on June 18th through 23rd. Though many of the Southern delegates failed to attend, that banking split. At Baltimore, the Democrats nominated Douglas, who easily defeated Kentuckian John C. Breckinridge, the sitting vice president of the United States. Trying to unite the Northern and Southern Democrats, the convention then turned for vice president to be Senator Benjamin Fitzpatrick of Alabama, who declined nomination, and eventually to Herschel V. Johnson, a former U.S. Senator, a former governor of Georgia, who was chosen as Douglas' running mate. All right, let's look a little bit more into this Abraham Lincoln guy. See what else we got on here. A little bit on this. The 1860 United States presidential election in North Carolina took place in November 6, 1860. As part of the 1860 United States presidential election, North Carolina voters chose 10 representatives or electors to the Electoral College who voted for the president and vice president. See, right now, people, I'm just introducing these concepts, setting the mold of the truth that is soon to come. But once again, although I'm speaking on history and the truth of what occurred in America, the purpose of my show is to warn people. I'm crying out to people. The Lord is coming back. I'm here to speak about the coming of the Lord. It's time for us to come back home, people. And what I'm doing is showing y'all, and showing myself how we fell off, how we found ourselves in the situations where we find ourselves today, totally under control of a demonic government. So, stick with me, folks. North Carolina was won by the 14th Vice President of the United States, John C. Breckinridge, running with Senator Joseph Lane with 50.51% of the popular vote. All right. Just introducing the players, introducing the characters in this big, illustrious, demonic play that they're perpetrating on the children of God. Among American heroes, Lincoln continued to have a unique appeal for his fellow countrymen and also for people on other lands. This charm derives from his remarkable life story, derives from humble origins, the dramatic death, and from his distinctive human and humane personalities, as well as from his historical role as savior of the Union and emancipator of enslaved people from all over the world. He freed y'all. He freed the foreigners. He freed the white man and a few Africans and islanders. But you have to watch this whole show. Go back to the beginning. I'm laying it out in easy format for attention spans can keep up with the information I'm revealing. But I'm revealing it in a sequential manner, in a timeline. So you go back to the beginning, work your way back up to here, and you'll begin to clearly see the truth that I'm presenting. That's it for today, folks. Like I said, attention span. So we'll get back on a little bit of this later. But until then, focus daily.